Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're opening up quite an extraordinary file, really. It details this world hidden just under the surface of, well, classical scholarship.
Yeah, it's a place where theology kind of meets high-stakes espionage. It's fascinating stuff.
Absolutely. So we've gathered these sources, and they lay out this secret war, right, spanning
Yes.
millennia.
That's the core of it. We're basically trying to chart this conflict between um, these specialized scholars, the angelologists, and this other race, powerful, genetically superior beings called the Nephilim.
And this isn't just, theoretical battles in old books. The accounts we have are rooted in ancient lore, sure watchers, their descendants, but the fight actually spills into modern cities. We're talking New York, Paris.
Mm-hmm. And it all seems to revolve around this desperate hunt for one particular artifact, a celestial instrument, the lyre of Orpheus.
Right, and what really jumps out from these sources, I think, is the incredible detail. You've got secret expeditions charted out, hidden relics pinpointed.
And yeah, that sometimes, frankly, shocking truths about angelic biology gets pretty intense.
Okay, so let's dive in. Let's meet the players in this secret war. Who are we dealing with?
Right, so you've got two main sides.
Factions, yeah.
Exactly. First, the angelologists. Think dedicated scholars, often based in these specialized places like the Angelological Academy in Paris or St. Rose Convent here in New York.
Their whole focus is studying the Nephilim, but also crucially containing them, right? And they have to operate in secret because, well, the danger is immense.
Oh, absolutely existential for them. And the danger is the Nephilim. They're described as these pure stock descendants. Descendants of the Watchers, the fallen angels and human women.
Sometimes called the Gibborim, too. I saw that term pop up.
Yeah, good point. We should probably clarify that.
Is there a difference the listeners should know about Nephilim versus Gibborim?
It's a subtle but important distinction in the sources, yeah. Nephilim seems to be the broader term, like the overall race or bloodline.
Okay.
But the Gibborim,
Yeah.
they're more like the muscle, the enforcers, the assassins in the modern day working for the ruling family.
Which is currently the Grigori family, operating out of, a penthouse somewhere fancy.
Pretty much, yeah. And historically, these Nephilim weren't hiding in penthouses. The sources claim they rule Europe openly. Kings, queens.
Just sheer power and hidden influence keeping them on top. And the descriptions of them, they're pretty stunning. Really tall, luminous.
Almost unnervingly so. And unique biology, we're talking golden wings apparently, and this blue blood.
Blue blood, like actually blue.
Described as vivid as chipped sapphires, yeah.
Is there any explanation why it's blue in the texts?
Well, the prevailing theory among the angelologists connects it back to the Watcher lineage. Something about copper-based hemoglobin interacting with human iron.
Creating this stable but totally alien blue blood. Wow.
Yeah. But for all that power, all that unique biology, they have this massive weakness, a critical flaw.
Right. This built-in Achilles heel. It's a degenerative illness described almost like a cancer that causes their wings, these amazing golden wings, to just wither away, become blackened nubs.
We see it specifically with Percival Grigori, the patriarch. He needs this special harness just to, maintain his posture because his wings are so degraded.
And this illness, this is what drove that key research by Angela Velko, the angelologist.
Exactly. Her theory was basically that their very pure Watcher-derived cells couldn't handle the modern world. All the human-made pollutants, chemicals in the air, the water.
So our environment is literally toxic to them.
It seems so. It breaks down their cellular structure, drastically cutting their lifespan from potential millennia down to just hundreds of years.
Which links back to the wings you mentioned. They're not just for show, are they?
No, absolutely not. The sources are clear. The wings are actually external respiratory organs.
External? Wait, like lungs on the outside?
Sort of, yeah. A system for absorbing oxygen and getting rid of CO2 through tiny sacs on the wings. So when the wings atrophy...
It's not just disfiguring, it's slowly suffocating them.
Precisely. It's fatal because they literally can't breathe properly without them.
So just existing in our modern world is basically a slow death sentence for them. Add in that other weird detail, the navel-less body, the translucent skin for a pure angel. And you realize their unique biology, the thing that makes them superior, is also their greatest vulnerability.
And that vulnerability, that desperation to survive, is what fuels the entire conflict. It drives the hunt for one specific thing.
The lyre and Orpheus.
The lyre of Orpheus,
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the lyre itself. Angela Velko's research suggested its music could actually change Nephilim genetics.
That was the hypothesis, yeah. It was
Yeah.
potentially a double-edged sword. The music might diminish their power, weaken them permanently,
More?
or conversely, it could restore them, reverse the degeneration, bring them back to a state of, like, angelic purity, cure the illness.
And this instrument is supposedly more powerful than any other celestial artifact out there.
That's the belief, yes.
Hmm.
More powerful than all others combined.
So naturally, people have been trying to find it for centuries.
Oh, yeah. The sources detail these major expeditions. The first big one we know about goes way back, AD 925.
925.
Yeah, led by this venerable Father Clematis. They went deep into the Rhodope Mountains in Bulgaria to a place called the Devil's Throat Cavern.
Sounds ominous. What were they after?
The lyre, of course.
Hmm.
And the texts say they actually found it, being held by an imprisoned watcher.
An actual watcher, still alive, or?
Alive and dangerous. The encounter was a disaster. Clematis and his group were badly injured by what they called the angel's poisoned light.
Poison light, what does that mean?
Later, angelologists figured it was intense radiation exposure. Seems angelic bodies naturally emit it. The descriptions are brutal charred skin, internal damage, madness.
Horrifying. Okay, so fast forward 1,000 years, they try again.
They do. 1943. A second major expedition, this time bankrolled by a wealthy American, Abigail Rockefeller.
Ah, the Rockefeller connection.
Right. Angelologists went back into that same cavern, Devil's Throat, and this time they found something incredible.
What was it?
The perfectly preserved body of a male angel.
No way! Preserved how?
Just pristine, intact, wearing metallic robes, aquamarine eyes still visible. It confirms so much of their theories about angelic anatomy.
But getting it out must have stirred things up.
Big time. Huge consequences. Just 1 year later, 1944, the Nephilim hit back. Hard. They launched this devastating attack on St. Rose Convent.
The convent in New York.
Yeah, 6 sisters were killed. The sources say they were desiccated, just utterly destroyed.
That's not just war, that's pure terror tactics.
Exactly. It terrified the surviving angelologists.
Right.
They realized they couldn't openly possess the lyre, or even seem to be looking for it, so they adopted this strategy of pretending to be pacifists.
And Abigail Rockefeller, what did she do with the lyre parts they presumably found?
She took extreme measures. She hid the plectrum, the little pick needed to play the lyre, just a small piece of metal.
Okay.
And she created this incredibly complex cipher to protect the location of everything. But then she died in 1948, and the complete key to the cipher died with her.
Which sets the stage for the modern hunt decades later, with our young angelologists, Evangeline and Verlaine, trying to crack that very code.
Right. And this is where it gets really clever, almost like a detective story.
How did they even start? A cipher lost for decades.
They found clues scattered across different sources, correspondence between the convent's Mother Innocenta and Abigail Rockefeller, but that wasn't enough. They had to connect it to something else.
Which was?
A series of illustrated cards, sent years ago by Evangeline's own grandmother, Gabriella.
Wait, hang on. They're cracking a secret code using letters from the 40s and drawings from a grandmother. How does that even work?
It was Evangeline who had the breakthrough. She realized these numbers in the letters 28, 30, 38, 39, they weren't dates or addresses.
Okay.
They matched the number of strings drawn to the lyres pictured on Gabriella's cards.
Wow. That's brilliant. Hiding a numerical key in plain sight as children's art.
Exactly. So that sequence, 28, 30, 38, 39, became their map. It pointed to 4 specific secret locations right here in New York City. Really clever hiding places, actually. The Museum of Modern Art,
Mama.
Riverside Church, up near Columbia, the Cloisters, way uptown, and Rockefeller Center, specifically the Prometheus statue.
Wow. Okay. And the plectrum, the little pick?
That turned out to be the most surprising. Hidden literally in plain sight back at St. Rose Convent. Concealed inside the monstrance in the Adoration Chapel.
The thing the nuns pray before constantly.
Yep, protected for decades, just by the sisters' routine of perpetual adoration. Nobody thought to look there.
But cracking the code, knowing these locations, that must have painted a huge target on their backs.
Immediately. Percival Grigori's assassins, the Gibberum, were right on their heels. The hunt turned deadly fast.
We see that in the sources, don't we? The brutality.
Oh, absolutely. Angelologist Vladimir gets murdered, just charred beyond recognition. Another contact, Mr. Gray, killed violently at Riverside Church. It shows you the Nephilim aren't messing around. The cost of finding these pieces is steep, often fatal.
And just as things are hitting this fever pitch, Evangeline gets hit with these personal bombshells, stuff about her own family that just turns everything upside down.
Yeah, this is where the story takes a really sharp personal turn. It's the critical moment, really.
What does she find out?
She discovers that her mother, Angela, the brilliant angelologist researcher, was actually the result of a secret affair
An affair between who?
between her grandmother, Gabriella Lévy-Franche, and Percival Grigori himself.
Wait, hold on. Let me get this straight for the listener. Percival Grigori, the head of the Nephilim, the enemy, the one hunting them,
Yeah.
is Evangeline's grandfather.
That's the devastating truth, yeah. The sources explain Gabriella was playing a dangerous game during the war, acting as a double agent against the Grigoris.
Wow.
She married Dr. Raphael Valco later to protect Angela, to hide her true parentage, but it didn't save Angela in the end.
Why not? What happened to Angela?
The Grigori family murdered her, specifically because her research on the lyre was getting too close, potentially revealing a way to either destroy or cure them.
So the angelologist who basically discovered the potential cure the Nephilim desperately needed was killed by the Nephilim leader, who was also her own father.
The level of betrayal is just staggering. It reframes the entire conflict.
It makes that final confrontation incredibly personal for Evangeline. Where does it happen?
Rockefeller Center, right by one of the lyre's hiding spots. In the middle of all the chaos, Percival Grigori manages to grab both Evangeline and Gabriella. He thinks he's finally won, you know. Gotten the lyre, gotten the cure.
But the lyre is a celestial artifact. It doesn't just do what you want it to, right?
Apparently not. Under extreme duress, Evangeline is forced to play it. But the music, it doesn't cure Percival. It doesn't destroy him either.
What does it do?
It triggers this massive, sudden, permanent change in Evangeline.
A change. How?
The sources describe it vividly. She sprouts wings. Magnificent, weightless, airy wings, purple, veined with silver.
She becomes one of them.
In that moment, yeah. She's no longer just an angelologist. She ascends. She becomes a Nephilim, a fully realized angelic being.
So we've tracked this hidden war across centuries, this desperate hunt for an ancient instrument, all driven by survival and secrets. And the lyre, it didn't just reveal secrets, it actually created something entirely new.
Exactly. Evangeline achieved the very thing both sides were fighting over, that angelic state. But she got it through the bloodline of the man who killed her mother.
Inherited power through profound betrayal. So for you, the listener, it's clear the war isn't finished. Not by a long shot.
No. But the real question now is, with Evangeline transformed, does that mean the Nephilim might finally have someone trying to change them from within? Or is she now just the perfect weapon, an angel in angelologist clothing? Which side is she really on now? That's the thought to grapple with.